Welcome back to the channel. Took a brief break, had to go out of state, watch my oldest boy graduate and cross the stage, had a good time with some family. Now, back to business. We got this 2012 Ford Fusion in the shop today. Notice a little something strange? Right here. Sits way too low in the front. It's not done intentionally. This car was not lowered. It's got factory suspension under it. So, we're going to get this thing up on the lift. We're going to check it out. And we're going to find out and show you guys exactly what causes this issue. Let me show you what I found. Check that out right there. That's where the spring is supposed to be sitting, but because it's broken the lower rungs off of the leaf spring, the coil spring, we've punched through the bottom of the strut. That right there is part of that coil spring. It's not good. Obviously, you don't want to see that on your car. Let's check this side over here. And about the same condition. That spring should be sitting here. See, right here is a broken rung, and the spring sitting way below it. So let's get some struts on this car. It's always the last lug nut that your impact wants to die. It's never the first or the second. It's always the last. Remember that. Tip for the day. Alright, so we're going to start right down here. So this is that lower strut bolt. We're going to unbolt that. We're going to be able to get the suspension to droop down a little bit more. And then you come look up here. It's the upper control arm bolt. We're going to take the upper control arm bolt out and make sure you take your brake line over here loose. We're going to take this entire knuckle assembly and brake assembly and we're going to lean it back. That's going to make it easier so that when we drop down the strut, we can slide the top end out. Or if we have to, we can kick the bottom out. So, let's get that out of there. The fact that the whole thing turns when I'm hitting the backside with an impact is a good sign. These tend to seize inside of the bushing and they become a real pain to remove. But the fact that it's spinning all the way through, it's a good thing. So now, as you can see, we can pull this down, and the strut is just kind of chilling in here. So now we're going to come up here. We're going to get that upper control arm loose so we can lean everything down. We're going to get this brake line off up here, right there. That way we don't pull this brake line and hurt it. All right. Now you can see we can move this whole knuckle. We're going to get this tie rod off of here as well. Make it a little bit easier to move everything around. Now on this, the sway bar end link attaches to the strut. Now the replacement struts is most likely going to have you remove this guy here and separate the strut from the strut bracket. So we're going to take this guy out. We're going to remove this bolt first. That way we can give it some light taps up here and try and separate it before taking the strut out. Because once it's out, it's a lot harder to get these off. They tend to rust on there. So we'll get this bolt out, we'll get this bolt out, and we'll work on knocking this down off of the top of the strut. It's also going to make it a lot easier to come out. We don't have to fight with all of that trying to get it to come out. This one's actually rather easy. It let go. Let go pretty quickly, so that is real nice. We can get this out of the way. It won't be a problem. Now if you were having issues with this lower strut bolt and you couldn't get it out because it's seized in that bushing, you could leave it in there and just take it off up here, and then when you push the suspension down, you can get it off of the top here, and then that's less you have to take apart. I found that as long as they come out, it's just easy enough to move it completely out of the way. You're not trying to fight with it, and then we can get it on and lined up afterwards. So now to get that strut, last thing we do is up top, under the hood, we're going to have 3 bolts, and that guy's just going to fall right down. You could technically take those bolts out first, so you're not worrying about actually dropping it once you get those 3 top bolts out. But I usually just do the reach around technique. I'll come in here and I'll grab this bottom strut, undo the top bolt at the same time, one foul swoop, pull it right out. Alright. Now we're going to get this hood open here. As soon as we can find the lever. Alright. So up under the hood, right here is the top of your strut. You got these 3 bolts right here. We're going to get those out of there. Just like that. It's out of there. Now, this spring is still under compression. So with it being broke like this, be very careful. This is like holding a grenade in your hand, I think. Never had one explode, just what I've seen on TV. But I do know they're under a lot of tension. And bad things happen when tension is let go rapidly. Alright, now, here's our new strut. See how the coil spring thins down at the bottom? So when you break these 2 rungs, these next rungs in the spring are larger than this bottom part. So it slips over it, and that's what happened in the last one. It had a whole bunch of rungs, and in fact, after we got it out, we saw that it was also broken up here in the top as well. So that coil spring was complete mess. But we got a whole new assembly. Highly recommend a full assembly. Going to be much better for you. It's going to make the car ride better, and you don't have to hassle with changing the spring on the strut itself. So let's get this in here. A lot of struts are going to come with new hardware. So we're going to do the old classic reach around. Alright. So once you get that reached in there, you get these started. Just start them by hand. I like to start them by hand. Come back in after everything underneath is all tightened up. Tighten these up last. Kind of helps so that you can move things around down there and it's not real stiff. So, let's get this thing lifted back up in the air. Alright, so back in here, let's get this wire on the correct side of our strut. So now we got a strut in here, so we left the bolts loose on top, so we have a little bit of movement in here, which is perfect. So we're going to take our fork, and we're going to put it down here in the bottom. Now, there's a little nipple right here on the bottom of this. It's going to sit right in between the fork here. That's how it lines itself up. So it can't twist once it's all the way up. Now our sway bar, notice how it's way up here. We got to get it down there. You can use a pry bar and pry in it. Pry down here, and that'll pull it down. Just like that. Alright. This bolt, if you can see me over here, goes in through the backside. So we're going to pick it up. We're going to use a pry bar to twist it a little bit. And not bang our mic up against everything. Okay. Sometimes these things can be a real pain. Hoo-ha! Well, we are going to get it one way or another. There we go, we're getting somewhere. All right. That was a struggle, but we got it. All right. Now, you want to come on up here. Now we can get our upper control arm put back in. And last but not least, new tie rod end. Without that guy, you ain't going anywhere. Get your hole lined up for your cotter pin. There we go, cotter pin is in there. Now we can reattach. Here, come over here. Now we can reattach our brake line. There you go, that's it. My new strut is in here. Once we get it down on the ground, we'll tighten up these upper bolts. It'll be good to go. So that's one side. Let's go to the other side. Come in here and look at this. So this side is actually so bad, I came in here and grabbed this rung and pulled it out. And now the spring just sitting in here. Oh, look, there's a whole nother rung still in the bottom of the strut moving around. Man, that's pretty rough. Holy cow. Look at that. Wild. Just wild. Alright, on the other side, you got to see us taking that strut out. Well, you didn't get to see us take the strut out. So on this side, we're going to show you the bottom half of the reach around. Here you go. There's your second strut installed. Not too difficult of a job on this car. Not all cars are the same. Some are difficult, some are not. This one happens to be not a super difficult job. So, they also requested an oil change. We're not going to record that. Pretty sure most of y'all know how to do an oil change. If not, refer back to the Subaru at a quick lube shop messed up. We did a proper oil change on that, and we show you how not to screw up. Thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And we will see you on the next one. Come on out here. Sits a whole lot better, doesn't it? Looks good in the front. Sitting far more level. All we got left is a test drive. And then we've got this one all wrapped up.